It's official, Half Sword will go on sale 1 week from today on Friday, January 30th, bringing with it a ton of highly anticipated features and changes. This announcement is coming directly from GameSeer, and they even released this 1-minute trailer to go with it, so here is everything you need to know. Let's start off with some of the first things I noticed when watching this new trailer. So they open up with the fist play game mode, but we can see that our willies now have the option to grow out some beautiful luscious hair. I don't know why, I kind of just forgot that everyone's been bald in the playtest, so this is really refreshing to see. I also feel like the character models themselves kind of look different here too. They've got a bit more of a burly, defined look to their body than before. This is nice because up until now, everyone's just been identical bald willies, and everyone, the only difference really is the armor. So now we have hair, we have different faces, and we're gonna have height variation more often too. They show us some single combat scenes after this, and we get our first glimpse at the swordplay that's coming in EA. Also, throughout this trailer, they showcase these cards that pop up, and they seem to be teasing new game modes. This one here is called First Blood, so I'm guessing it's going to be a game mode where the winner is the first one that can cut the other fighter. During this scene, we get to see some new equipment on the characters too. The opponent here has a brand new helmet that kind of looks like, I don't know, what are those, like roly-poly armadillo kind of things? And he also has a pretty unique shield that we haven't seen yet either. The very next scene after this, we get a very unique shot. We've got a glimpse at this map before, but here we get to see an enemy being crushed by some large falling objects. I do wonder what's triggering this trap though, like how exactly are we going to be able to enable these kind of things to happen? Next up, we get a scene from the most exciting part for myself and my friends, which is a look at the multiplayer. If you didn't know, Half Sword won't offer online servers for random matchmaking. You won't be able to just go into like a multiplayer and queue up, but by using third-party methods, you'll be able to split screen play with your friends across the world. Steam has something called remote play you can use, but there is another way to do this through something called Parsec. So once it releases, maybe I'll make a guide if it ends up being difficult. Now, I researched this game a while back, and I learned that the developers behind Half Sword had actually reached out to the team behind BeamNG for help on how to implement multiplayer. BeamNG is another heavy physics game that I love, so it was really interesting to learn that the two teams had actually been communicating with each other. We see a game mode titled Double Combat, which looks like it's a classic 2v2, and in the next scene we see another unique character wearing a new helmet. Something else I noticed in this shot is that when our character's sword comes out of our hand, we can see that it has this bright blue handle with a gold pommel, and I did have to look that word up, but it's the knob that's on the bottom of the sword. Now, a long time back, we did hear from the devs and got a sneak peek at this weapon customization system that would allow you to change the material of many parts of your swords, as well as the size and variation of certain aspects. We don't get to see this system up close in the trailer, but this scene here is a good sign that it might be ready to go and we might be able to customize our weapons next week. The next game mode that we see is called Traps, and we're shown this dark room where a large wooden log with spikes falls from the ceiling, piercing one of the other guys in the back. This next scene was one of my favorites from the trailer. We get this shot of our player in the back of a wagon firing a crossbow at someone just outside, and they are definitely pretty close. He hits them right between the eyes. Now, I like this scene because of the environment. Ever since we've been playing Half Sword, we've all been in the same areas between the sandy arena and that one room that we fought in. So taking a fight outside into a green forest is gonna be awesome. Once again, I am just wondering though, how do we get into the wagon? Because to my knowledge, there is no jumping, vaulting, or climbing in the game, so in this game mode, do we spawn here, or will we now be able to climb in the early access version? I should just mention also, in case you haven't seen it, but the crossbow is brand new as well. We did get a sneak peek in the Discord recently, but this is really our first time seeing it in action. Now, do you guys think it's going to have unlimited ammo, or how many shots are we going to be given before we have to switch to a sidearm? The next scene shows us what looks like a 3v1 with plenty of variation in the enemies. The guy up front is a little bit taller with this shorter hairstyle that I like, it looks pretty cool, and the guys in the back are both sporting new helmets, and this other guy over here has the new shield that we saw earlier. We see 3 other game modes on the table, and one of them might be a sign of what we were just looking at. We see one called Hordes, Great Champion, and Brave Stand. Now, if I was to guess, I would say that Hordes kind of looks like it's a never-ending version of Brave Stand. Basically, you'd be up against a bunch of weaker opponents that just keep coming at you. With the background that's shown on the Brave Stand card, I do wonder if this would be kept to smaller, more enclosed maps, rather than say the forest where we could see a horde battle. At the end, we see 3 more cards flip over that show the familiar mode Carnage, as well as 2 new game modes called The Pit and Narrow Passage. The Pit looks actually insane. We see a small arena with with a literal pit containing spikes in the middle. Now, I gotta wonder what it would be like to throw someone that's wearing full armor in there, because would they just land on the spikes, or would it probably just pierce through the openings in the armor? Narrow passage, on the other hand, looks really interesting to me. On the game card, we see this small bridge that two men are fighting on, but once again, there's for some reason spikes laid all underneath them. Throughout this whole trailer, I don't think we got a glimpse at any map that would resemble this, so I guess we're gonna have to wait and see where these game modes will take place. Even if the narrow passage didn't have those spikes below, I think this would be really cool if you picture, say, at the top of a castle, and there's two guys that are trying to get over this tight little bridge area. That would be really sweet. This could even be really fun for fist fighting. Picture you could just grab the guy and throw him over the edge to his doom. Now, in past interviews, the team at Half Sword has said that early access will include, quote, a substantial amount of content. So what are you most excited for? Also, the pricing is expected to be somewhere between $20 and say $30, and I am wondering if we're gonna see an introductory 10% off sale or something. I hope this video helped you learn about the release of Half Sword that's coming next week, so I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.